Hello happy souls, welcome back to my channel. This is Charlotte with Happy Twins 11 and this is Derek who's joining us today. Hopefully he won't get in the way like he did yesterday. Will you, Derek? So welcome back to my channel, happy souls, and welcome to all of my new subscribers. I've got 3 lovely piles for you today and we are asking, what do you need to know about your person? You really need to know this about them. This is all the details of what's going on with them that is going to help you broaden your understanding of the situation you're experiencing with them. So take your time choosing a pile. I've got 3 for you today. In pile 1 is the Starseeker Tarot with Chrysocolla. In pile number 2 is the illest Tarot with Amethyst. And in pile number 3 is the Considerate Cat Tarot, not named after my cat, who's not so considerate, with Rainbow Fluorite. Just see which one you're drawn to. The timestamps are in the description box below, and that will take you straight to your pile. Now, before we go there, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you who have been sending healing and light to Mark Brett. He's doing so well. He's been transferred to his local hospital, as I updated you recently, and he was sitting up yesterday eating a sandwich and chatting on FaceTime. He's come off the ventilator, they've taken the stunt out of his lungs, he's come off dialysis, and for someone that was suffering from multiple organ failure, sepsis and all kinds of other shit, it's absolutely a miracle that he is recovering and doing so well. And I have no doubt in my mind that that's down to you and every single one of you very, very generous souls that has been taking the time to send him healing and prayers. So my deepest gratitude to all of you. Thank you so much. His family appreciate it so much. Everyone is so very moved by this result, and the doctors continue to be astonished by his recovery. It really is a miracle. So thank you, thank you, thank you for your continued prayers, your good wishes, and all of the love and light and healing that you send. I appreciate it so much. Anyway, onwards, I will see you at your pile. Hello, pile 1. You have chosen the Starseeker Tarot and Chrysocolla. Welcome to your reading. Derek is joining us today, as you can see. Hopefully he won't get in the way. You're going to be a good boy, Derek. Sometimes he doesn't come in my workspace at all, and other times he's in here every day harassing me for cuddles. He's an interesting cat, aren't you, Derek? My chief keeper of crystals. He absolutely loves crystals. Loves destroying my crystal grids, especially. Okay, so pile 1, we are asking today, what do you really need to know about your person? Take a nice long deep breath and hold your person in mind. Set the intention that you're ready to receive all of the messages that you need from Spirit about your person. And you can also ask for a sign if you would like. That just helps you to validate and anchor the messages that come through. There's no right or wrong sign. It can be anything at all that feels good to you, an object, a symbol, a phrase, numbers, a song, a name, animal, anything at all that feels right to you. And hopefully it will come through and help you receive the messages that are meant for you. Okay, so let's do this, pile 1. What do you need to know about your person? We're going to get some oracle cards and charms as well, maybe some message cards as well, I think. As usual, there will be an extended reading today, so if this resonates for you, you can always find the link for that in the description box below. We have got the 2 of Swords, the Devil in reverse. Look at Derek looking at the cards in disgust. What are you doing, taking up my space? 10 of Cups, Page of Wands in reverse, the 10 of Wands in reverse, Death in reverse, the Empress. Oh, how lovely. Oh, and the Queen of Pentacles. This is so lovely. Okay, let's get some oracle cards as well. So from the Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine Reunited deck, we've got Goddess of Power, Lilith, and Balance. And from What oracle is this? This is spirit animals. They've all got similar names, these animal decks. It's the Colette Baron Reed one. I always list the decks I use in the description box below. I think it's called the Spirit Animal Oracle. I apologise that Derek's licking his balls right now on camera. What are you doing, Derek? Oh, man. Okay, we have got dog spirit. Be loyal to what you love. Bobcat spirit. Dove spirit. And one more, we've got hawk spirit. Okay. I'm not going to get any more out because Derek's in the way, but we'll get some more out as we go. So what do you need to know about your person, part one? This is actually a really beautiful lineup for you. And, you know, what I'm hearing is that your person has been in a state of indecision around commitment for a very long time. They felt unable to face this connection and to take responsibility for how they're showing up in it. But even though they're very resistant to this transformation, you know, they are actually very much into making this happen. We've got the Ten of Cups clarified by the Empress, and we also have the Queen of Pentacles here and the Page of Wands in reverse. Now, what I'm seeing is that your person has previously been in some kind of player energy, you know, very flighty, very unpredictable, very much wanting to play the field and kind of maintain a state of freedom for themselves. But this is really transforming because we see this Page of Wands coming up in reverse and it being clarified by the Queen of Pentacles, which is the energy of commitment. You know, this is a really beautiful, stable, committed energy. This is kind of the spouse card. You know, when a counterpart sees you in Queen of Pentacles energy, they're literally thinking about long-term commitment. And the Ten of Cups and the Empress absolutely confirms this. These are such beautiful energies, and this divine feminine energy here also demonstrates a pregnancy. Now, I'm reluctant to predict things like that because this is a general reading and it won't apply to everybody. But what's for certain is that your person has longevity in terms of this relationship and family oriented, you know, ideas in mind. Now, the concern here is that we've got the Devil and the Death card in reverse. And so Spirit is saying, you know, if you want this person and they do want you, you're going to need to come to terms with, you have to accept them as they are now. You can't fall in love with this person's potential because right now they are not ready to transform. You know, they have been dealing with, I would say, avoidant attachment style. And even though this is something that still has a hook in them, we are seeing it improve somewhat. But with the Death card in reverse, they are still very resistant to that transformation. Lilith, the goddess of power, you know, she features the snake here. This is a powerful divine energy of kind of rebellion. You know, Lilith was actually the first woman. She came before Eve. But when she was kind of read the rights by God and he explained to her, this is how it's going to work, you're going to obey Adam, Lilith was like, hold on a minute. I don't know if I like the sound of this. Why can't we be equal? Why does Adam get to be the big boss man? And God just says, well, that's how it is. You know, your role as a woman is different. And Lilith didn't like that. She didn't like that one bit. And she said, stuff you, I don't want to do this. And he said, well, you're going to have to leave the Garden of Eden. And at that point, no one had left the Garden of Eden. So it was a very bold move on Lilith's part to say, I don't care, I'm out of here. And off she went, and she was never seen or heard of again. But because of this story, she's a symbol of feminine rebellion. And what I'm hearing here is that your energy of stepping back and refusing to tolerate or cooperate with the ill behaviors that your person presented as actually what's helped bring things back into balance. This change in you has meant, and look at how this balance card is demonstrated. It's a number 4, which is a very masculine energy. Number 4 is the number of the Emperor, but we see here that the masculine is carrying and supporting the woman. You know, so the energy has literally flipped because you've stopped chasing. It has empowered them, you know, to step into that masculine energy of support It's created space for these union energies to occur. And we've got dog spirit here as well. This is such a happy, joyful energy. It says be loyal to what you love. And this person's really played the field. And, you know, they come back to you every time because the energy is so magnetic. It's so addictive. They acknowledge the intimacy and intensity of your connection. And, you know, they need to be in your zone of awareness. So this person's had a really dramatic change of heart. They may not have made a move towards you yet, but with this page of wands in reverse, for sure, you know, this person is letting go of those wild player ways. Bobcat spirit and hawk spirit, these are both very divine energies. 8, of course, is the number of infinity. It reminds of us cycles, and it says here life is a mystery. And what I'm hearing with this is that your person is absolutely fascinated and intrigued by the magic and the intensity and all the weirdness that exists in your connection. It's undeniable to them that there is something very meaningful and soulful here. And the hawk spirit says, let spirit be your guide. It feels like they have finally surrendered to this energy and stopped resisting it. And the dove spirit, be peace, which is also 21, reduces to number 3, the same as the Empress. You know, this is very much about them just wanting to settle and calm this whole situation so that they can bring it to fruition. Now, remember, the indecision and this 10 of Wands that came up in reverse, meaning, I'm just going to move Derek's butt over. Sorry, Derek. There we go. That's, you know, references their reluctance towards responsibility and accountability. This really demonstrates where your person struggles. There may be an age gap here or a culture gap, or perhaps it's more to do with career, you're more successful or something like that. But there's part of them that still feels that they don't have enough to support a relationship with someone like you. And it feels not just connected to the material kind of things such as, you know, money, stability, perhaps a stable home, all that kind of stuff. It's not just about that. It's about how they're able to show up spiritually and emotionally. I think because of the intense depth of this connection, they sometimes worry that they can't live up to your expectations or the potential that you see in them. And this is why that message came through very strong. You know, you can't love this person for their potential. Now, this does feel like a very twin flamey connection because of how spiritually loaded it is. And of course, the purpose of that journey is to embody the energy of unconditional love. And so I feel really guided to remind you what that means. You know, to love without condition is not an easy thing. It's very challenging to love even ourselves without condition, let alone another person. But what that means is to love them despite how they present. It doesn't mean that you are obligated to be in their zone of awareness or to be in a relationship with them. If any person demonstrates behaviors that are not healthy or good for you, then you have to love yourself first and remove yourself from that situation. But it feels like you do accept this person as they are. But I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, you've got to take your rose-tinted glasses off. When you two come together, there's going to be a lot more work and healing to do, and it's going to be quite challenging. And what you don't want to end up doing is later rejecting this person because they're not living up to the potential or expectations you've had. So you're being asked to really consider this before you proceed, because, you know, they are taking a huge leap of faith to let their guard down and step into this connection. Now, I know you've taken many leaps of faith, and quite rightly, you're thinking, well, it's their turn. But this person, having been in that avoidant, anxious energy, takes a very long time to trust. And one of their greatest fears has been that, you know, your devotion, because it was so intense and so beautiful and, you know, so all-encompassing, they became convinced that it was born of some kind of disillusion on your part. You know, they assumed that that kind of love couldn't be real love, and when you get to know who they really are, you won't want them anymore. So if that were to happen, you know, they are going to be crushed. And I know that you feel they have crushed you, but this isn't tit for tat. You know, I feel at this stage that you actually have more reservations than you've had in the past. You know, it's kind of one of those circumstances where they weren't present, you couldn't have them, you know, that really exacerbated the longing you felt to be with them. And once they come forward, you may find that that longing dissipates somewhat, reality sets in, and you start to think, okay, you know, this person isn't everything I thought they were. And that is their deepest, darkest fear. Now, this person doesn't have the same power and ability as you to be able to transform themselves in the way that you have. That's not to say they won't always have that, but at the moment they don't, and they don't have a will to heal in the way you have. And I know that's very, very frustrating for you, but they are saying, I do want to be loyal to you now. I want to make you happy. You know, I want to embrace all of the weirdness and the woo-woo and the intense crazy in this connection. It moves me in very magical ways, and I want to be a part of this. I want to explore it. Let me get some more tarot cards. What else do we need to know about your person, pile one? Wow, okay, so this is a bonus card in this deck. It's called the womb. Now, that's the second pregnancy sign we've had. Of course, it's also a symbol of rebirth and abundance. Let's see what else comes up. We've got the Ace of Cups, the Six of Cups in reverse, and the Eight of Wands. We've got Justice in reverse. Oh, my goodness. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. The Chariot. And the Page of Pentacles in reverse. This is so fascinating, pile one. Very, very intense energies. I'm going to get some of these cards as well. This is the, I always forget what it's called, Island Time Wellness Love Oracle cards. Okay, that one wants to come out. We've got Coffin, Stabbed in the Back, Boat, Cupid's Arrow, and Photographs. So, the womb clarified by Justice in reverse. Now, if we think of the womb as a metaphor, it's an incubation, isn't it? It's a space for growth. It's a space for creation. This is clarified by Justice in reverse. And what I'm hearing is that now karma has been resolved. And this is clarified here by endings bringing new beginnings, growth, change, and transition. Some kind of karmic situation has been resolved here, and I feel that this was connected to a family unit, because we've got stabbed in the back, separation, shocking attack, deception. It's clarified by the Ace of Cups. So in addition to you bringing your energy into balance and creating more space for this connection to, you know, to be more harmonious, it does feel as well like a really painful family karmic cycle has reached its conclusion. And that this person has enabled, and we've got the dove spirit coming through again here. As a result, this person's been able to have a heart awakening. They've been able to actually step into that loving space in their heart. Now, the Six of Cups in reverse is it's an energy about offers, and you can see here, I'm going to turn it upright for you, that we see these two together, the 5 cups standing up and 1 cup in the Empress hand, but it's clarified by the Chariot in reverse, and we've got the 8 of Wands here as a progression. When the Six of Cups comes up in reverse, it can demonstrate that reluctance towards making an offer. And what I'm hearing is that your person is very triggered right now to move this forward. But again, that indecision and that panic and that anxiety creeps in. You know, the Chariot is all about divine drive and divine intervention. So when this comes up, the impulse to take action is really strong and undeniable. So your person's kind of feeling this pull towards you, this impulse to actually, take action and to make this okay. But they're also, very reluctant and afraid because the anxiety creeps in. It says here, progression, arriving, moving on, and closure of issues with this boat energy. And of course, the Chariot also represents travel. So they are definitely moving forward towards you. And the 8 of Wands suggests that despite their ambiguity, despite their panic, this will happen very quickly. And look at this 8 of Wands here. The heart is on fire. She's holding all of these amethysts here. Amethysts are a very spiritual energy as well. And you know, I don't think that they're going to be able to avoid this. The Eight of Wands is, again, like the Chariot, very fast moving incoming energy. It's very inspiring, it's transformative, and it definitely references communication and messages. The Page of Pentacles, clarifying this in reverse, really suggests to me that all, you know, this is the energy of procrastination, research, planning. Don't take action until you've figured it out. And look, you know, this guy's not going anywhere. He's just reading, studying, preparing. But that energy's blocked, and the Eight of Wands overwhelms it. And then we have down here the Cupid's arrow. Have faith, love is coming, surprise, invitation or meeting. And then it says hesitation. So, you know, that really reveals that kind of up and down, should I do it, should I move forward energy. Their primary concern is that not only do they not want to be rejected by you, but they don't want to let you down. You know, there is a powerful energy here of needing to put things right, of wanting to make things okay for you, and of wanting to reciprocate and give back and show you the value and appreciation that they genuinely feel for you. We've also got photograph here, looking at your photos, missing you, nostalgia, and making new memories. So for sure, this person's watching you very closely. They're feeling you very strongly. And, you know, they are currently in these kind of two minds of, oh my gosh, I really feel like I need to do this now. And it's just those fears that are still kind of putting the brakes on. But I'm hearing that spirit will override. The impulse will become greater than the fear, and they will release that hesitant energy, and the Cupid's arrow will strike where it's meant to. So this is very exciting, very, very positive news for you. I'm really, really happy about this. I just can't shake the feeling that now this person's here and ready, you're the one with second thoughts. I can't shake that feeling. It's so interesting. Okay, let's see what else Spirit needs you to know about this person. Okay, we've got Judgment in reverse, the Four of Cups in reverse, the Six of Swords, and the Five of Cups in reverse. We've got the World, the Knight of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands in reverse, and the Ten of Swords in reverse. So all of these cards refer to that spiritual healing practice that we referenced. I'm going to get some message cards here for you as well. Actually, let's get those in a minute. I want to get some of these cards first. This is the Iris Oracle. We've got Rainbow Bridge, something that is never truly yours, the Hold, and sitting on top of the world. Let's get one more. Oh, okay, that one fell out. Twin. Okay, I thought it was probably a twinny thing. And let's get some more animals. We've got Lizard Spirit. It's so funny, you know, because lizard is such an unusual animal. And when I pulled it out the other day, I thought to myself, no one's going to pick lizard as a sign. And then someone commented that they did and really didn't think it was come up. And I commented and said, I really didn't think anyone would pick it. And it's come out loads ever since. Spirit's funny like that. So what I'm seeing with the energies here, Pile 1, is that your person, you know, the spiritual aspects of this connection, even though there's a healthy degree of intrigue and curiosity, they are somewhat skeptical, and they don't trust or believe in their own divinity or their ability to heal. This person is asleep. You know, they may have spiritual knowledge because of what you've shared with them, but they're not seeing it for themselves. They're not embodying that energy. They are still very much in the dark with this. And with the Four of Cups in reverse, you know, they don't have the same potential for introspection as you do right now. It's not to say they won't ever have, but at this moment in time, they are very reluctant to walk this path. Now, the Knight of Pentacles, like the Page of Pentacles in reverse, it's about action, but what you can see here is that this person isn't moving. And the Knight of Pentacles is a very slow-moving, cautious energy. It waits. We always see the Knight of Pentacles not in movement, but waiting. And, you know, here, he's right at the beginning of this journey. He's got this huge mountain to climb towards the moon, which represents our intuition and divine feminine power. And this is the part that intimidates them so much. They believe still that to get involved in this psychic stuff or this healing stuff defies their masculinity. To them, that's not a thing that, you know, macho people like them do. And so they are very reluctant. They're, you know, even if they're not a man, they've got this kind of strong, pragmatic, practical sense of being. And they're really struggling to align with all of this spiritual stuff and the healing stuff. Now, we also had the Ten of Pentacles come up in reverse here earlier. You know, that was about the family unit stuff that we saw. You know, someone that's that was closing out a painful family cycle. Now, I didn't choose another card here. I didn't place one, and I'm not sure why, but it does feel like that was intentional in spirit's respect. Now, looking at this card more closely, yeah, so we see two women with child here. You know, so that, again, that pregnancy, baby energy, rebirth, whether it's literal or whether it's representative of, you know, a powerful changes and new creation, you know, it is clarified here by something that is never truly yours. So for some of you, there may have been a loss associated with that. Up here, we've got the Six of Swords. And again, we see these two people moving towards this portal of light together. And so I do feel like your person will start healing when you step into union, but they are not ready to grasp that wand and take responsibility for that aspect of the journey. But they do need your presence. You know, the healing will start, and this is a 32, which reduces to number 5, the energy of transformation, high learning. Of course, 3 is the number of the Divine Empress. My ears are ringing right now, really strong in my left ear. And 2 is the energy of the High Priestess. You know, this is the energy of nurturing, affectionate, beautiful embrace and communication. You know, all of that emotional depth that the feminine can transfer in this situation. They do have a lot of unresolved trauma and unresolved pain. You know, we've got the 5 of Cups in reverse here and the 10 of Swords in reverse. And I do feel that this 5 of Cups energy for some of you will refer to potentially a situation that involves alcoholism or addiction. And this has been their primary coping mechanism, you know, to kind of numb the very painful feelings. And remember, we had that energy of betrayal and deception, is stabbed in the back energy. You know, we see that quite literally here. Someone that is stabbed in the back with that 10 of Swords in reverse. So these are energies that are still blocked and that need to be resolved. But, you know, this person is taking that step. Rainbows are a symbol of hope and optimism, and we see them taking that leap of faith. And again, 3 is the number of the Empress, 7 the number of divinity. Combined, it adds up to 10, the number of completion and union. So, you know, they are crossing that bridge for you, but there's definitely some loss here, something that is never truly yours. And I feel they may have given up the good fight to resolve things with the family or whatever that karmic stuff was, but there's been a loss there, which has also triggered a lot of grief, and it could relate to children or babies or pregnancy. Sitting on top of the world, you know, this is how they see you in all your divine feminine glory, you know, so connected to your spiritual self, and they're so very inspired by you. And I think the fact that the twin card has come up, obviously it's affirming for you if that's your situation, but this makes me think that they know, you know, this twin here is blue, it's in truth. The other one is red, which is connected to the root chakra, but both of them have this beautiful, you know, purple lilac hair, a symbol of their spiritual power and divinity. One of them has an upright moon, being in truth, and the other one, you know, the energy of the root chakra being red, for me this is connected to, you know, the trauma that they hold or store there. But with this moon being in reverse on this side, for me this strikes me that this person, you know, they're not as awake as you, even though they may be aware of the context of this connection and it being the twin flame thing. Lizard spirit, dream the world into being. Again, more energy of creation here. You know, this is about manifesting what you want and trusting in the divine plan, but also recognizing that while you're in this powerful balanced state, that there is the energy of creativity, and the Badger asks you to be fearless and bold. Again, another number 4. I really feel like your person is also stepping into the energy that the impulse to be with you will override the fear. Now, I'm going to get some message cards from your person as well. What does your person's higher self need you to know about them at this time? Oh, okay, that one wants to come out. I hate lies. Okay, that's another one that's fallen out. I'm bored of going around in circles. I wish you could understand how difficult my life is right now. I don't know. I'm under a lot of pressure from my family. I don't understand why you love me so much. It makes me think you must be crazy. I do not have the resources to be the person you deserve. So this just confirms everything we've already read. I'm ready, I'm trying, but I'm so scared. Please be patient with me. And finally, you're all I ever wanted love to be, and it scares me to death. Okay, let's get some guidance cards. I'm going to get some of these. This is the Divine Energy Oracle. We've got build on solid ground. Do all things in moderation. Say no. Change tracks. And oh, this lovely deck, unfortunately it didn't come with a note. The Flower of Life. Thank you so much to whoever sent me this. I'm going to use this in this reading. I really appreciate it. Amazon has been so slack about sending messages. I don't know why they don't include them, but if you sent me this, thank you so much. You're so very generous. That one's nature, so I'll read that to you when we have finished. So, I just want to get a clarifier for this say no energy as well. And we'll get some charms actually. Right, that's the 9 of Wands, clarifying that. What we need, let me get those, but we need some more. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. Let's have a look. Okay, we have got don't overthink it, dusk until dawn, the moth, the asthma pump, the IPHM badge, I'll explain that one in a moment, sad songs, the Rolodex. Thank you for someone who reminded me what this was called in the comments yesterday. The Rolodex clock, and everything will be all right. So, don't overthink it. I hate lies. I don't understand why you love me so much. It makes me think you must be crazy. And so I think this refers to this person's lack of trust. You know, they've been loved bombed before. They've had people, you know, be really loving and devoted, and then it's all kind of crumbled and fallen apart. And they have this tendency to overthink this. But this build on solid ground card really affirms how they are feeling much more stable, much more confident, and much more trusting. But again, you know, you're being reminded how fragile that energy is. This person thinks about you all the time. You know, we've got dusk until dawn, and this I'm bored of going around in circles. You know, that they know that they cannot ignore this connection. They've surrendered to it. They know that they cannot continue to resist it. And so they're embracing this transformation and moving towards the light with this moth energy. But it says, I do not have the resources to be the person you deserve. And again, you know, this is a real struggle for them. You know, they have a lot of pride, they have a lot of ego, and they have a very traditional approach to relationships and the roles that each counterpart takes. So they are very triggered by the idea that they can't provide for or support you in the way they would like to. And this brings them a tremendous amount of anxiety here with the asthma pump. I wish you could understand how difficult my life is right now. I'm trying, but I'm so scared. Please be patient with me. Now, I'm hearing you've already been very, very patient. But, you know, this person is trying their hardest. They're clearly, you know, going through some very powerful and, you know, challenging times, difficult times. It seems a lot of this is connected to family. And, you know, they're really scared. You know, this person is really having to face their fears. And it does say here, I'm under a lot of pressure from my family. You know, but you're all they ever wanted. that this scares them. Now, when the IPHM badge comes up, this is a IPHM is a governing body for holistic practitioners, and that's to say they check all of our qualifications so that we can become accredited, and you as a potential client can, you know, check that we've been verified by a respectable governing body and all our qualifications have been checked, and so forth and so forth. So this is why I have this badge, because I'm a member. But when this comes up, for me, this is about bringing peace and healing to the situation, or perhaps even seeking professional support to do that for your person. I feel really guided to mention the Skio to you in particular. The Skio is a quantum biofeedback machine. I'll put a link to the information about that in the description box below. But it basically heals at a quantum level. It works with energy. It's been absolutely incredible in trials. I've had treatments for myself. I've had treatments for my divine masculine. It's been incredibly profound. I definitely encourage you to check it out. The ladies that use this machine that I use are also twins themselves, so they understand this journey. But for sure, you're being guided towards some kind of treatment here, you know, some kind of holistic practice that can help them resolve some of that fear and anxiety that they're actually feeling, because scared has come up twice. You know, they're so afraid of moving forward with this. Sad songs. Okay, so I'm hearing, I don't know what to say to you, so I share the songs that express my truth for me. So that's something you need to pay attention to. Now, the Rolodex, the numbers here that are highlighted are numbers 1 to 3, and you know, 1 of course is the number of unity, 2 is duality, and 3 brings those numbers together to form creation. And it just feels like, you know, you are on this path now. You are kind of at that point of union where, you know, you're moving from duality into unity, and there's a beautiful pure white symbol here that reassures you everything is going to be all right and you can trust. Now, this say no energy really threw me, and I pulled a 9 of Wands so I could understand what it was saying no to. Now, the 9 of Wands is the energy of persistence and endurance. So, you know, what I'm hearing here is to trust that you're at the final stages now. What you don't want to do is sabotage this by leaning too much pressure or trying to rush this. You know, when you feel that impulse to try and move things quicker or to pressure the situation to get what you want, you've got to learn to, you know, rein in that inner dialogue and that egoic desire that I guess compels you, you know, to avoid the divine plan and allow things to flow as they meant to. You've worked so hard to create this solid ground. You know, do things in moderation, again, is for me about taking it slowly and easy. I feel like it's going to be very tempting to you to start trying to rush things when this person comes forward. And even though it might be frustrating that it will move slowly, you know, this is how they need to proceed. You know, change tracks. Let me get a clarifier for that one as well. What's the change tracks energy referring to, please? So we've got the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Again, this is the 7 of Pentacles is about patience. So when the energy of patience is blocked, things can't flow in the way that they're meant to. So, you know, this is asking you to temper your desire to race forward with this. You may feel very excited when they come forward, although I did get that energy of you perhaps, you know, having second guessing, having kind of second thoughts. But you definitely need to, you know, these are all symbols of slowing down, just let things move slowly, you know, step into the energy of patience. Let's read the final card for you, Nature. Take a moment today to stand outside and quieten your thoughts and breathing. Know the sun and your soul are always shining. The birds in your heart are always singing, and the flowers and your path are always opening up. You don't have to action these things into being. You just have to turn up. Look around you and feel into life. Notice how your dreams and desires surround you in many ways. It may not be the precise thing you desire, though it will give you the same feeling. Look for where your dreams and desires are instead of where they are not. Shift your perception and you will change your life. So, you know, this is about really embracing what's opening up to you and reminding you don't have to take action. You know, you don't have to make this happen. You know, it says shift your perception and change tracks. You know, step into more patience. Don't undo all of this hard work you've done to bring this into balance. You've worked so hard to get where you are. And even though it's not exactly as you thought it would be, you know, I think you expected that your person would heal and you both come magically into union, and it definitely hasn't been that smooth sailing. And you may be looking at them now thinking, I don't know if if I'm ready for a relationship with this person as they are. But it says, you know, quieten your thoughts, know the sun and soul are shining and the birds in your heart are singing, and your path is always opening up to you. You don't have to action anything. You just have to turn around, feel into this, and notice how much joy and abundance actually surround you at this moment in time. I really hope you enjoyed that part one. I'm going to take this over to the extended now. We're going to go deeper with these same energies. We're going to get more message cards. We're going to dive into feelings and thoughts, and of course bring forward more guidance for you. So if you found that this resonated, you can find the link for that in the description box below. But thank you so much for tuning in here. I appreciate you guys so much. You've been so very generous to me recently. The growth of my channel has been really humbling, and I thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all the healing you're sending to Mark Brett as well. That's been an incredibly moving experience to share with you. Thank you for the very generous donations you share. And please, if you send me a donation, be sure to include your PayPal. On your PayPal payment, your postal address, so I can send you a little handwritten thank you note and a couple of cards I pulled. It's my favourite thing to do right now. So I appreciate your donations because it gives me an outlet to kind of write these little letters. I'm really loving it. I used to have loads of pen pals when I was a kid. And thank you to those of you that watch my commercials. It's such a sweet energy exchange. I appreciate that so much, and it really does help my channel to grow. Thank you for the likes, thank you for subscribing, and thank you for your beautiful comments and simply for being here. I will see you next time, part one. Lots of love. Bye. Hello, part two. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen the Illest Tarot with this lovely piece of amethyst, and we are asking today, what do you need to know the most about your person? You really need to know exactly this about them. Now, when we do these readings, we're tapping into their higher self and the collective conscience, you know, to bring forward all the information you need the most. So just take a deep breath and just ask Spirit for all the messages you need the most. Open your heart and be receptive to receiving them. You can also ask for a sign. A sign just helps you to trust in the messages that come forward and to recognize which messages are specifically meant for you. Because of course these are general readings, so it may not all apply to you, and that's okay. You know, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. There will be an extended today. We're going to do all of the charms. We're going to do oracle cards as well. So stay tuned. We're going to go really in depth. Derek is here joining us, so I've got a bit less table space than usual, but he's sound asleep. I feel bad disturbing him. Okay. What does your person... That's the wrong question, beg your pardon. What do you need to know about your person? And a sign can be anything, by the way. You know, it might be a symbol, a colour, an animal, an object, a phrase, numbers, a name, whatever works for you. Okay, let's do this. We have got the Four of Cups in reverse, the Emperor in reverse, the Page of Pentacles in reverse, and the Two of Pentacles. Got the Six of Swords in reverse. We've got I Don't Know Her in reverse, the Seven of Cups in reverse, and the Chariot in reverse. Now, I don't want you to worry about reversals. They're not necessarily a negative thing. It's just another way for me to read the energy. It's usually a blocked energy or, you know, just a different perspective. Right, so from the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine Reunited deck, we've got Abandonment, Grief and Anger. And from the Animal Spirit Oracle, got pig spirit and ant spirit. And I'm going to get some of these Iris Oracle cards as well. Just move those up a bit. A lot of people get annoyed with me for adjusting the cards. I'm sorry it bothers you, but I like adjusting my cards. I keep getting comments saying, stop touching the cards, it's really distracting me. But it really distracts me when they're wonky and I have to read them. So I hope you don't mind. Okay. Well, okay, that one flew out. No one is yours but you. Be free. Do what you love. Spirits to guide you. And under a spell. Okay. There are a lot of blocked energies here, pile 2. There's a lot of pain and a lot of anguish. And I feel like this person, even though they never actually leave, neither do they really stay. It's such a back and forward energy. Your person doesn't have the capacity to go inwards and reflect on how they're behaving right now. They do seem completely oblivious to how challenging their behaviours are. They have a strong sense of entitlement to just do whatever feels right and good to them. And ironically, this is the energy that you're meant to be learning about. You know, so they're unwittingly teaching you, you know, how to have boundaries, how to stay in your power. And, you know, the message here is the truth is we're never under any obligation to meet other people's needs. We have to meet our own first. Now, someone that doesn't have boundaries or is in very codependent energy has been taught to people please. And when you've been taught to people please, you have been conditioned not to have boundaries. And so that means that you're very surprised when other people do, and you don't understand that because you've been taught, well, I must always show up, I must always give, I must always answer every call and every message and do what's needed of me because that's my job. But that's not a healthy way of being. That's distorted energy. And whilst it's lovely to give and to help others with their needs and to support them as best we can, we must never do that at the expense of our own comfort or well-being. And so, you know, this runner-chaser dynamic that you're experiencing is really trying to teach you. It's almost like your person is hardwired not to give you what you want, you know, so that you can learn to give it to yourself. No one is yours but you. And so them, you know, refusing to step into the energy that you want, refusing commitment, refusing to answer every single call or message at the drop of a hat, you know, refusing to be regular in their communication. You know, your attitude is, look, when you ignore my text, I worry and it makes me upset and anxious. And so you look to them to resolve that anxiety that you're feeling. Please stop making me worried and anxious. Just reply to my text. You're being rude. I have to reframe this for you. And I say this from a loving and balanced perspective. And I want to reassure you that I have also been in that energy. I understand how indignant and annoyed you feel because you've been taught that that's really rude. Because people have, you know, conditioned you to please them. They've trained you to not have boundaries because it didn't serve them for you to have boundaries. And so, you know, there's no blame here. Your perception is distorted because of the experience you've had, but it's not a healthy one. No one is obligated to behave in a certain way so that you can feel better. You have to learn to self-soothe. There are all manner of reasons why people don't reply to messages straight away. They could be busy, they could be driving, they could be really stressed and worried about something else. They could be tangled up in some other kind of communication or situation. Just because you see them online doesn't mean it's convenient for them to communicate with you. And you've really got to learn not to take this so personally, and also not to make your codependence and your anxiety their problem. If you're going to go through life expecting other people to adjust to meet your needs, to soothe you and make you feel better, you're going to always be disappointed, because with the greatest will in the world, no one can live up to that. There's going to be times when they can't fulfill those things for you. And this is about building trust. And the truth is, if you were more secure in yourself, you wouldn't need that reassurance. And, you know, and no one is obligated to conversate with you just because you've decided it's convenient. You know, think about it. Just because my phone rings doesn't mean it's convenient for me to take that call. Just because someone sends me a message doesn't mean I'm in the mood to have a conversation with them. And 9 times out of 10, it's not even personal. You know, it's because I'm tired, I'm busy, I'm about to take a shower, I'm spending time with my kids or with my family, or I'm out with a friend, or I'm at work, you know, or I just want to watch a movie. I don't want to be engaged with anyone. I want that time for me. That's healthy boundaries. Now, I know your person isn't asserting their boundaries in a healthy way, but they are refusing to meet your needs because your needs aren't in balance. You know, there's nothing wrong with expecting commitment. And if you decide that's what you want from a relationship, and this person is saying, I can't give you that, then you've got to stop beating them up. You know, you can accept what they're offering, or you can move on. But to be angry with them, you know, for not meeting your needs isn't fair. We all have a right to choose for ourselves. Your person is in very distorted masculine energy, and I do feel with this I don't know her energy in reverse that they can be really ignorant at times. You know, they do ghost you. You know, it's almost like things are lovely and warm and magic, and then you don't hear from them for a week and you think, what the hell? So I do understand this is very challenging, but if this is a twin flame connection, this won't stop. They are hardwired to teach you the lessons you need to learn about loving yourself. No one is truly yours but you. No one can truly satisfy you and love you and soothe you and make you whole except you. Now, they are just being free. They're doing what they want, and they have every right to do what they want, even though it's not what you want. And I know that's so very hard, but right now there is a lot of toxicity in this connection. And I hate to break this to you, but it doesn't just come from them. This is two unhealthy people, and when they meet in the middle, the toxicity is created. Your poison, my poison, lots of poison. And so, you know, what's actually happening here is that you're placing all of the blame on them, you're shifting, you know, all of the responsibility onto them, and you're not prepared to take a look at how you're behaving. Yes, you're empathic. Yes, you're kind. Yes, you're loving and giving and pleasing. And you see that you give so much and you feel so entitled to receive it back. But giving love so you can get some back is a distortion, it's manipulation. You know, this is what was referred to as the shadow side of the empath. Because the empath doesn't see that their codependence is no more healthy than their counterpart's avoidance. You know, neither one is in balance, neither one is right. To need someone to demand from them so much and then to blame them when you don't get it is just as distorted as the avoidant partner. You know, we should never give love so that we can receive some back. That's not to say we shouldn't expect reciprocity in a balanced relationship, but, you know, we also have to recognize that when we overgive in the hope that we're going to receive something back, that loving isn't balanced. It's not healthy, real love. It's love that's born of a desire to get something. You know, it's not authentic. This person truly doesn't know what they want. You know, we've got the 7 of Cups in reverse. We've got the Page of Pentacles in reverse. They don't know what they want. They don't know where to begin. They don't know how to get it. They want to change. You know, they do want to change, but they don't know how, and they don't know in which way. They're not yet aware of what's meant for them, which direction to move in. And I do feel like they're generally quite directionless anyway. You know, this could be someone that's, you know, skipped from job to job, had, you know, huge gaps in employment. There's definitely a lot of dysfunction here. You know, this person is very, very troubled, and I think you are as well. I think you're both struggling with anxiety, with depression. There's a lack of stability in the material world here, and that appears to be the only thing this person's focused on right now, creating some material stability. But then that's the only change they have space for in their minds. Abandonment, grief and anger. You know, both of you are very triggered by these energies. You both have deep abandonment wounds. There's definitely some kind of energy in the past here connected to a father leaving. Look, we see this child here sat on the doorstep, you know, looking absolutely devastating, and this male figure getting into the car, and of course it's called abandonment, walking away. And number 8, of course, is an infinite number. It comes back around on itself. This represents, you know, the energy of abandonment being a cyclic pattern in relationships for both of you. Your person tends to run away before they get rejected. And you tend to self-sabotage by being too clingy and too needy. And in both cases, those behaviours are rooted in a parent, perhaps a father figure, either leaving or being very absent and not giving you that nurturing, loving support that allowed you to build a healthy self-esteem and feel loved and valued. And there is so much grief and anger here. And I'm really drawn to this. I've never seen it before, but there's all these screwed up pieces of paper. And I think both of you struggle to communicate from a place of peace. You struggle to communicate and articulate your feelings in a non-confrontational way. And this is what, all of that upset kind of spills over and ends up turning into an argument. Spirit is behind you, but both of you have to learn to be free and do what you want. This person is under your spell. Like I said, even though they're not kind of really leaving, they're not really staying either, but they can't let you go. And it says here with Ant Spirit, it's time for you to collaborate. You've got to work together to figure out the pieces of this puzzle, because it's not just your person that isn't showing up in a healthy, mature way. And yet you're so indignant. You really think it's them and that everything you're presenting is healthy and right, but it really isn't. It's that the pig spirit encourages you to use your mind wisely. And here we see the pig with wings. And of course, the saying pigs might fly suggests something very unlikely. And so you've got to ask yourself, which limiting beliefs are you dwelling on that are stopping you from achieving what you want in this situation? Oh, he's not going to change, pigs might fly. He's never going to work this out, pigs might fly. I'm never going to get what I want and healthy, balanced love, pigs might fly. Yeah, so you've really got to adjust your own pessimistic attitude. This person is very attached to you, just as you are attached to them. But this dynamic is, you need to research into attachment styles. You have an anxiously attached and an anxious avoidant person here. And like I said, when you two meet in the middle, it's really toxic, and I don't think that you're going to resolve it if you continue the way that you are. There's a quote, I forget who it was by, but it's something along the lines of, to keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result is really the insanity. If you want to get a different result, you have to change tact, and you've got to start taking responsibility for your feelings and doing some research and educate yourself in what healthy boundaries means, because you didn't receive this education as a child. There's no shame in it. I had to relearn this stuff as well. I had to go through this and figure it all out. And I used to feel just as inflamed as you do about people not replying. Now I don't give a shit. And you won't care either, I promise. When you give yourself the love that you need, you don't need it so desperately from other people. So you've really got to start healing and taking responsibility for your own wounds and how this causes you to sharpen a relationship too. Your person is very dysfunctional. I acknowledge this. I recognize that their behaviors aren't conducive to a healthy, mature, happy relationship with stability, commitment, and good communication, but neither is yours. Neither one of you are equipped to be able to deal with this right now. I've got the King of Pentacles. Wow, the King of Cups. Page of Wands in reverse. The Hanged Man in reverse. The Moon. Ace of Swords in reverse. 10 of Wands in reverse. 8 of Pentacles. This is so very interesting. Now, deep down, your person would love to be committed to you. As I said, there is a very strong attachment here, but it's associated with a great deal of fear, and they don't trust their own emotional body. They don't trust their emotions. They're not very good at navigating their emotions. And so right now, they're struggling to discern between what's right, what's real, how to express it. What is my truth? They're really not sure what their truth is. They know there's deep feelings there, but they're not sure whether they're right or wrong, because this situation feels quite stressful. But the King of Pentacles is the energy of commitment. The fact it's clarified by the moon, which is the energy of fear, illusion, you know, uncertainty, really demonstrates why they are so hesitant to move forward. But they would like to, they just don't know how to. What's really powerful about this Page of Wands in reverse is that this is them letting go of that player energy. You know, they might not be ready to take responsibility for all of their faults and weaknesses at this stage, but they are recognizing that their own conduct when it comes to, you know, dating and flirting and not being very monogamous is not right, you know. And I feel like they are going to let go of those behaviors that, you know, they're not ready to address it yet. They're not really taking responsibility for it, but they're feeling that it just doesn't feel good to them anymore. They need to shift their perspective and focus on work. You know, this is where their energy and attention is right now. It does feel like this person has had really unstable finances, and that's where their primary focus is, to kind of make their life work in the way it needs to, so that they have more options. But yeah, you know, when two kings come up, these are very powerful energies. They're very strong masculine energies. The King of Pentacles is the king of abundance, stability and commitment, and the King of Cups is the king of the heart. You know, he's the king of the emotional body. So, you know, you've got to trust that the feelings are there. They're buried deep between an incredible amount of grief, anguish and fear of rejection, just as you have those wounds. You know, you express them differently to them, that's all. We've got Joy, Kali, Aries, Thoth, Surrender and Unconditional Love. Beautiful energies here. Allow yourself to step into joy. You know, just allow yourself to enjoy being playful and present in this connection. Allow yourself just to have fun with this person instead of placing the weight of expectation, demands or needs into the equation. You know, the God of Wisdom, Thoth here, this is a number 4. Of course, this is again the energy of balance and stability. You know, to create more stability in this connection, just allow yourself to step into joy. Look, these people are just dancing together, you know, just enjoying one another's company, being close, having fun. You know, Kali, the goddess of destruction. You know, this is reminding you about your tendency to self-sabotage by being so clingy and codependent. You know, you're being encouraged to recognize how those energies become destructive and to surrender. You know, surrender and acceptance means to be comfortable and at peace with what is. It's the energy of mindfulness and satisfaction with what you have. And if that sounds impossible to you, then you have to start where you are. And I know it seems overwhelming. You think, well, you know, no one feels like that. I can assure you they do. It's really possible. This is something I've conquered and you can conquer it too. Surrender just means to be comfortable with what is. And when we realize that we have everything we need inside of us, we surrender to the love inside of us and allow our light to shine, recognize that no one is ours but ourselves. This is when we find true peace and can then just flow with how life is meant to be. You know, you're no longer at the mercy of other people's behaviors or decisions or changes, because you have everything you need and you've learned to be grateful for whatever presents, you know, because in truth, we can't control all of our circumstances or how other people behave. So when you put all of your focus, all of your attention, all of your power into trying to convince other people to change so that you can feel better, you are fighting a losing battle. And Aries, the god of battle, does remind you that you're fighting a battle, you know, and this is a war which nobody can win. Okay, the only way to move past this and to find a place of peace, to step into unconditional love, is to heal that inner child wound and to surrender to yourself. You know, this is about researching what it means to love yourself and how to take steps towards doing that. You know, this is what you're being called to. Camera, the Grim Reaper, Girl with a Snake, the Chaser, Not Enough, Hand of Cards. Okay. Reminiscing, perception, learn from the past and make memories. Remember, this is coming up with joy. You know, focus on all the good times you've had. You know, by all means, we have to... Okay, big blockage in my throat there. I don't have a cough or an illness. This happens sometimes when I'm reading. Oof, it's really sharp. It's like someone just scratched my throat. Let me just have a drink. Hold on. Oh, that's really strong. Reminiscing, keepsake, perception, learn from the past, make memories. By all means, reflect on the past to help you move forward. But, you know, this is asking you to reminisce about what's good, to focus on the nice, positive aspects of this connection, and to allow those to be the dominant memories. Dwelling on the past is only helpful if we're going to use that time to reflect on how we could have done it better and what we need to do to improve it. You know, it's not healthy to dwell in that energy and sit in resentment or pity. The chaser. Chaser in a codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issue. And over the goddess of destruction, it does say, this relationship is over. Grow and transform your life. You know, this feels like a caution. If you continue in the way that you're going to sabotage this connection. You know, remember what I said about that quote. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is insanity. There's a real difficulty here in communicating from a healthy, authentic place. Hand of Cards, which is the Ace of Swords, the energy of truth. It says here, take a chance, be strategic, consider your options. You know, and when it says be strategic, this is about unconditional love. That's the truth of this connection. You know, girl with a snake, empath, narcissist, paradigm, enabler, and boundaries. And this is coming up over Aries, god of battle. You know, these arguments and this battle and this war and this conflict that exists between you is not because either one of you is bad people. I know you think your person is the greatest dick on the planet right now, but they're not. They're just, you know, both of you have an unhealthy attachment style that when it comes together is really toxic. You know, no one is to blame here. You each have a share of the responsibility for making this work. And I know that you think you're doing all the work, but you're not seeing your own misgivings here. Not enough. Frustrated in a relationship, lacks confidence, self-sabotage, fear, ego issues, and jealousy. You know, these cards really affirm everything we've discussed so far. You're being asked to be strategic, weigh up your options, use your wisdom to approach this in a different way, and surrender. Surrender to what is. Allow yourself to step into flow. I want to get some guidance cards from your person's higher self as well. These are message cards that I have written on. Whoa. Okay, that one came up. I ended it because I'm so confused about us. Remember, you are a divine being of love and light. I really think they see that. You give so much, it makes me feel like I can never match up to your expectations. So, you know, by over-giving, you're actually creating a dynamic in which they feel it's so much they can't meet you halfway. You know, the answer is not to give more, it's to find more balance. We found forever, but at the wrong time. You only hear what you want to hear. I don't know how to care like you care. I don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. I need more time to learn. It's not the right time for us. One more. You've got me wrong. I do care, but I just don't know how to show you that. Oh, I'm sending you such a big hug, pile 2, because I know how painful this is. You know, you love this person, you just want to be with them, you want everything to be okay, and you wish they could see how special the connection is between you. You just want to be held by them and loved back. And I know how challenging it is when you can't meet in the middle and find a way to make it work. But, you know, this person has always been so confused about this. It's interesting to note they're saying you only hear what you want to hear. You know, sometimes when you are communicating or listening to them, you're not really listening. You're thinking about what you're going to say next. What they are saying is so triggering for you that it's like 1,000 fireworks going off inside of you, and then all of this, you know, hot fire comes flaming out in anger because you're not listening to their truth. It's not personal. When they say, I'm confused, I don't know what I want, you know, you're getting so upset because you feel misled. But, you know, you've got to listen and trust them. You know, it says, you've got me wrong, I do care, but I don't know how to show you that. So, you know, even though they might promise you to step up, they might promise you they're going to be different, in truth is they don't know. They don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. No one's ever demonstrated loving, healthy, balanced communication to them. And you know what? They haven't to you either. You're both coming into this relationship with the same wounds, but you're both expressing them in different ways, and you need to be less judgmental of one another and more compassionate and loving. You know, when they speak, rather than flying off the handle, you can say, what I hear is X, Y, Z, and what I'm understanding about that is X, Y, Z. Is that correct? Or can you clarify it for me? So, you know, if they say, for example, I'm confused about us, and that triggers you and makes you think that they don't care, that they've led you up the garden path, that they're wrong. And your usual reaction might be to say, you're out of order, you should have done this, why have you promised me this, why did you say you'd try if you're still not sure? You know, what you can say is, what I'm hearing is that you're still confused about us. That makes me feel like perhaps you may have misled me. Can you clarify what you mean by this? Because I'm struggling to accept this information, it hurts me. You know, that's a loving way of creating space for them to offer you reassurance. When you attack them, there's no room for reassurance. When you say to someone, you've misled me, you're horrible, why'd you do this to me, why'd you treat me like this? You know, they're going to go on the attack or on the defensive. It doesn't leave space for a loving conversation. You've got to be responsible for how you show up too. Remember, you are a divine being of love and light. This person sees you. They see your light. They see all of this beautiful energy in you, but they don't know how to give you what you give them. You know, and you give too much. It creates such a huge imbalance that they feel they can never live up to and never repay. They don't know what a healthy relationship looks like, and they're saying that this is not the right time for you right now. Each of you needs to process these wounded energies that each of you carry, that, you know, make it so difficult to have a healthy, happy relationship. This is deep, pile 2. If you're still with me, I salute you, because, you know, a lot of people really struggle to face themselves, and there's been a lot of stuff in this reading about you that's not easy to hear, and I just want to commend you if you're still here and take my hat off to you, because I know how hard it is to take a long, hard look at our own stinking shit. It's not easy. It's not easy to smell our own shit. It demonstrates how brave you are and how ready you are to heal. And again, I want to remind you, I've been through this, and, you know, you can do it too. All right, let's get some guidance cards for you before we take this over to the extended. We've got the 9 of Pentacles in reverse, the Knight of Cups in reverse, the Ace of Cups in reverse, and the 4 of Swords. From the Divine Energy Oracle deck, we've got Focus on Success. Do what you love. That message has come up twice. Let go and enjoy. Take the lead. From the Flower of Life deck, this is a lovely deck I received yesterday as a gift in the post from Amazon. Unfortunately, I don't know who sent it to me. If you sent this to me, thank you so much. You're so very sweet. I appreciate it so much. So we've got Yin Yang. I'll read that to you in a moment. Let's get some more animal cards for you as well. We've got Wombat Spirit, Snake Spirit, Frog Spirit, and the Rhino. And let's get some charms. Oh, one fell out. There's a tiny little crucifix. Christ consciousness symbol there for you. Oh, and another one flew out. What's this one? The moose or the stag. It's a symbol of the divine masculine. Okay, we've got the IPHM charm. I'll explain that in a moment. That comes up such a lot lately. Living in perpetual sin. The yin yang whales. It's interesting because you've got the yin yang card. The bicycle. The stethoscope. The diamond. And the tape measure. So guidance for you, pile 2. Work-life balance is a problem right now, both for you and your person. And it feels like your finances might be stressed or your work situation unstable, and that, you know, this isn't a happy situation for either of you. And that's something that needs to be brought into balance. And it does say here, focus on success. You know, when the 9 of Pentacles is in reverse, it is an energy of financial instability, you know, of not having enough, of not feeling confident and stable. And the IPHM symbol comes up for you. We also have 2 cards saying do what you love, and this wombat saying be at home. Do what you love, be free, do what you love. And look, we see someone healing here, sending healing energy from their hands, creating light, the spiral of life, all this purple energy, which is a symbol of spirit and spiritual or psychic communication. IPHM is a governing body that accredits holistic practitioners. So I'm a member of this. That means they've checked all of my credentials and qualifications to confirm that I've trained properly and that I am who I say that I am. And that means, you know, when you check me out, you can trust that I'm a reputable practitioner. So the fact that this came up and this do what you love thing and be at home, you know, there is some kind of healing skill that you have, that you can practice from home, and that you might even be able to weave around your existing career. But you're being asked to be bold, you know, to be free, to do what you love, whatever's been holding you back. And it may be you think you can't afford to do what you love, but I want to say to you that, you know, the universe always takes care of people sharing light. I myself, you know, stepped into this role as a light worker, as a tarot reader and healer and all those other things without any security or, you know, but I knew I would be taken care of. And from day one, I've always received enough money. There's always enough. Spirit's always taken care of me. On the months when I've needed more, there's always a little bit more, you know. So you've just got to trust. You've got to trust. Do what you love. Let go and enjoy. Take the lead in your life. You know, clear out the clutter. But with your person, they can't come towards you right now. You know, now is not the time for love to flow. This needs to be a period of recovery for both of you. And you're going to feel so much stronger and better and more in your power when you take the time to heal and create space for you both to heal. You know, the snake is about shedding skin. This is a number 55, which is all about higher learning, transformation, you know, developing leadership and authority in your own area and zone of awareness. Clear out the clutter. Overcome those obstacles, you know, be strong like Rhino Spirit. Another number 5 here. Charge forward. You've got this. You know, living in perpetual sin reminds us of the unhealthy coping mechanisms that each of you have. There may be drugs or substance abuse involved here, but, you know, unhealthy coping mechanisms aren't always, you know, drug related. It could be being addicted to, I don't know, anything. You know, gambling. It could be watching too many of these readings and not doing anything productive with your time to make positive change. Remember again the quote, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, expecting things to change is insanity. Now, the yin yang symbol came out here. You know, there's definitely a light and dark situation here, whether you're twin flames or not. Each of you is illuminating the light and dark aspects in each other and cycling through these patterns so that you can learn. You know, it's helping you to move forward, even if it doesn't feel that way right now. But this stethoscope asks you to listen to your heart. You know, the ego is the part of you that gets so angry and full of rage. You know, you may or may not be spiritual or Christian, but, you know, you're being asked to tap into Christ consciousness here, and to find that love there, and to remember that love doesn't judge. You know, you are a shining light. You are an absolute diamond to this person. They do adore you, you know, and it feels like with this stag, you know, this is very divine masculine energy. I'm not going to pick him up because he's too tiny, but this needs to move slowly. You know, you need to take a measured approach to this situation and allow it to unfold as it's meant to. Right now, it's the time to focus on you. With yin yang, it says, sit quietly and close your eyes. Breathe slowly and deeply. In your mind's eye, imagine a yin-yang symbol representing two opposing but complementary forces, something that's found throughout all of nature. Yin is often symbolized as water or earth and is considered the receptive feminine force. Yang is symbolized by fire or wind and is the creative masculine force. While opposites, they are not absolutes. Nothing can exist on our physical plane without its opposite, and neither part is superior to the other. Allow this image to move you to your center, where you feel at one and at peace with your whole being. You are everything. And that's a very powerful message. One cannot exist with the other, and neither is superior. You know, whether you're representing the light or the dark in this connection, and probably a bit of both, do not judge or blame. You're both beautiful people. You love this person because you recognize the goodness in them. You recognize their pure heart, you know, and that energy is in both of you. So try and forgive them for not knowing how to do this better, just like you don't know how to do it better right now. You know, try and commit to doing your bit and healing yourself, you know, and allowing them the time and space, you know, to do what they're able to do to heal themselves. But I'm going to take this over to the extended now. If you resonated with this and you'd like to see the extended, you can find the link for that in the description box below. But I just want to take a moment to thank you for being here. Thank you so much for tuning into my readings and sharing space with me. I appreciate you so much, and I'm so grateful for all of your likes. I'm so grateful to those of you that subscribe and join me here regularly, for your beautiful uplifting comments and your feedback. It's so lovely to hear all the, you know, how you resonated in your stories, and I appreciate it so much. And a huge big thanks to those of you that exchange energy with me by sending decks like this lovely viewer did, or by sending donations via PayPal. If you do that, please do include your postal address when you write to me, or sorry, send a donation via PayPal, because I like to send a little handwritten thank you note, and it's absolutely my favourite thing to do at the moment. So if you do make a donation, definitely include your postal address so that I can write to you and thank you properly. And thank you so much to those of you that exchange energy with me by watching the commercials. That really helps my channel to grow. You know, when you watch the commercials, YouTube, you're generating revenue for YouTube, and so they're going to promote me more. You know, if they see that a high number of people watch my commercials, they're going to recommend my videos. So I appreciate that so much. Thank you for those of you that take the time to do that. It's such a perfect energy exchange. 1 minute of your time for, you know, a 40-minute reading. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Lots of love. Bye. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen the Considerate Cat Tarot and this lovely piece of rainbow fluorite, and we are asking today, what do you need to know about your person? We're going to go really super in depth and get all of the details, get all of the information you need to know about what's going on with them, to help you make better decisions and to move forward for your highest good with this connection. So take a moment to just take a nice long deep breath. Close your eyes, hold the person you're inquiring about in mind. Let Spirit know you're open and ready to receive the messages that are meant for you. And you can also ask for a sign. Now, a sign can be anything at all. It can be an object, a phrase, a symbol, numbers, a colour, an animal, whatever works for you. Don't choose a cat, because this is the Considerate Cat Tarot, and this is a little bit too obvious. But that just helps you validate the messages come through. You know, when we do general readings like this, obviously it's not a personal reading, so not every single aspect will resonate for you, and that's okay. Just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But the signs can help you, you know, validate which messages are meant for you, and just to help you trust in the messages that are coming forward. So we're going to use oracle cards, we're going to use the charms, And we are going to do an extended reading today as well. So if this does resonate for you, you can find a link to the extended reading in the description box below. But let's get started. We've had Derek through all these readings, but ironically, as we move to the Considerate Cat Tarot, he has moved on. But let's do this part 3. What do you need to know about your person? We've got the 9 of Cups. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, the Tower, the Page of Pentacles, the Magician, the 6 of Cups in reverse. Whoa, that one wanted to come out. The 2 of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords in reverse, the 2 of Wands, and the Ace of Wands in reverse. We're going to get some oracle cards as well. Let's start with the Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine Reunited deck. We've got Boundaries and Karma. And from the Spirit Animal Oracle, we've got Mouse Spirit, Otter Spirit, and Bee Spirit. Just check that these are all in shot. Yes, they are. And we're going to go with some Iris Oracle cards as well. The All-Knower, Ungrateful Daughter, and Earthy Mother. That's interesting because they've got the Mother and Daughter of Pentacles out. Body is a House. Volcano. And Protect Your Heart. So what do you need to know about your person? Now, one thing I will say is that this person is coming back into balance. They are closing out a karmic connection. I believe this is a relationship they may have been in from a very young age. At some point, you know, the idealist in them really believed that that was a soulmate connection, and I do think your person is quite open to some degree to that concept, even though they are not necessarily deeply spiritual, but they're recognizing the need to move forward and for a change. This is very similar to the energies of part 1, because what we're actually seeing here is this person's had a tower moment. And whilst it's confused them, it has allowed them to start planning and making decisions about how to move forward with some positive change. Above all else, this person is very commitment focused at the moment. I'm hearing both of you have waited a really long time to be together. And there may have been plans that have, you know, been cancelled, rescheduled, for you two to actually make this happen, and it seems like it's taken a very long time. Now, with this Queen of Pentacles energy, we've got Ungrateful Daughter and Earthly Mother. You know, part of the reason for the delays in these changes was because this person probably has children, they probably have another partner or wife or spouse, and they've really struggled to resolve the karma and let go of the connection that they were already involved in, even though they've not been happy there for quite some time. They've had to have quite firm boundaries whilst they navigated the very difficult energies in their home life. And even though I think this person is probably silent right now, something major has triggered this change, and they're now questioning the decision that they previously made to stay put where they are, and they're ready to start making changes. This is such a positive energy with Bee Spirit. You know, this says sweet results await, and I really do feel that for you. You know, this person has managed to achieve a much greater level of emotional balance. You know, they're finding their feet in their own truth, and even though they're still undecided and there's still some confusion here, you know, they are planning on making a decision about this soon. They know that the situation has to be adjusted. With the Magician showing up, you know, they do feel very, very empowered to move this connection forward. Now, even though they're familiar with the spiritual nature of this connection, they're not super accepting of that part. You know, they accept the idea of soulmates, but all of this, you know, deep spiritual stuff that's been brought up in conversation is something that they don't necessarily always align with. And they do, you know, they get worried that the energy that exists between you might just be an illusion and that it will dissipate and you will leave. And so this is why it's, in part, why it's taken them so long. Definitely there was karma here as well that had a dramatic impact. But, you know, this person has been very protective of their heart space, you know, very reluctant to give themselves fully to this connection, you know, and they're recognizing now. And actually this tower moment may have been some health concerns, you know, that's made them realize life is too short. I can't stay where I am. There could have been an accident, an illness, you know, or a serious condition that has made them question their life, their decisions, their choices. We've got this body as a house energy, and it just feels like something big has happened, you know, to make them question this. And we've got volcano here as well. You know, there is a lot of passion in this connection which they now want to explore. I think as well with this mouse spirit, and it's saying tend to small things, you know, it may not look like they're making big strides towards what you want to happen between you, but these little steps and these little changes that they're making will eventually add up to some, you know, something bigger. And there is an energy of great determination about this. You know, even though they've not decided how to step forward, this person has certainly decided that they need to make changes and can't stay where they want to be. They know that this connection with you isn't going away. As I said, it feels like it's been a really long time between you guys, and you know, they're very much ready to bring all of that to fruition. They feel your energy very close to them, and they love that they feel that close bond with you. It's really uplifting for them. And you know, spirit needs you to know that even in their absence, even when they are silent, you are never far from their mind. You know, this person holds you in very high regard. And even though you have at times been impatient or become frustrated with their unwillingness to actually, you know, resolve the situation they were in and come towards you, they respect your compassion and the way you've handled that so very much. There may be a huge geographic distance between you two as well, which also presents another challenge. I'm hearing that you may have discussed, you know, moving to a new location to be together. It's a kind of meeting in the middle energy. So it may be that, you know, there are various obstacles for each of you to overcome to actually allow this relationship to come to fruition. What's lovely about this is there is a very deep and meaningful love here, and their heart's been committed way longer than their mind has, you know, and this is why they know now that they have to come towards you, because it's just not gone away. No matter how much they've tried to focus on the situation they're in to try and bring that to balance and find some peace there, you know, that your energy continues to kind of gnaw at them and magnetize them back. They've never quite been able to move on from it. And whatever this huge life change was, this big impactful change, you know, they are now realizing that they can't continue to fight this and that they need to make some changes. I've got the Five of Swords in reverse, the Three of Wands, the Six of Swords in reverse, the Two of Swords in reverse, the Five of Pentacles in reverse, the King of Cups, Judgment, the Three of Pentacles, the Three of Cups in reverse, and Temperance in reverse. And let me get some of these. This is the Island Time Wellness Love Oracle cards. All the decks I use are listed in the description box below. Okay, we've got Girl with a Snake, we've got Camera, we've got Lightning, we've got Wedding Rings, and we've got the Butterfly. So again, these are such beautiful positive energies coming through for you guys. So much changes afoot. Lilith has come out in every single pile today. God of Awakening, and that's Raumaka. I think he's a Maui god. Let's get some more animals as well. White Raven Spirit, Stag Spirit, and Cat Spirit. So many cats today. So your person doesn't want conflict, and this is what they're the most fearful of. Now in this row we've got the King of Cups as well, and we've got this girl with a snake, which says, you know, empath, narcissist, paradigm, enabler and boundaries. Remember, boundaries came up for you here as being, you know, something which they had to enforce to kind of create space for themselves to figure out the situation they were in. There's a great deal of anxiety here about how this situation might kick off with the karmic when they actually move ahead and make these changes. And this is where the hesitancy actually resides here. They're so afraid of the conflict. They don't want you to be drawn into it and to suffer as a result. And they're really uncertain of how to navigate this. But above all else, and I think this demonstrates a really high level of integrity, this person doesn't want anyone to be hurt. You know, the King of Cups is such a powerful, caring and compassionate energy. It's very deep feeling, and it's very measured in its emotional delivery, very cautious, you know, very careful to apply tact and diplomacy when they are in their heart space. Of course, this is also Scorpio energy. It's capable of a sting, but I'm just feeling it's such a gentle energy in the way it's coming through here. And definitely in this karmic situation, they're definitely dealing with some kind of narcissistic traits and, you know, a really kind of toxic situation that, you know, could present some kind of ugly conflict which they are really reluctant to face. And this is often why they put the brakes on. And, you know, I'm guided to remind you that leaving a relationship, even when you're not happy and you don't want it anymore, is such a challenging thing to do. And the longer you have been with someone and the deeper that commitment has been, the harder it is to let go. Certainly it feels like this is a very mature relationship. It's been going on a long time. There's probably kids or family involved. And so, you know, this person's treading very carefully because they just want to avoid as much upset as possible. And they, you know, they've been part of this dynamic for so long that they understand the fallout is going to be tremendous. But they want that fulfillment now. You know, they're still looking at it through that love triangle. Look at the Three of Wands here. You see that pussy cat and the little triangle, but they're willing to transform this situation. They have woken up to the truth of what they want, and they're really reminiscing, you know, about all the wonderful times you two have had together. I'm really hoping that they can, you know, have that again with you, and that they can start building even more memories and creating the life that you two have always dreamed of. The Six of Swords in reverse. You know, this person is reluctant to travel all the way to where you are. You know, there's definitely a need to meet in the middle, and there's a need for compromise, teamwork and collaboration. And each of you needs to be creative about how you approach this issue. You know, it's understandable that each of you have put down roots and created a life for yourselves in the areas that you currently reside. And so there's going to need to be a degree of compromise from both of you to meet somewhere in the middle. Again, that Three of Pentacles energy is about collaboration, compromise, creating something wonderful together. But definitely when the Six of Swords comes up in reverse, this is someone who's reluctant to travel, you know, who's reluctant to make a long journey to make this happen. And they're probably going to be looking to you to help them make a decision that suits both of you. The Two of Swords in reverse, clarified by the Three of Cups in reverse, again, may mean that this person's been largely absent. You may have zero awareness that they've reached this new conclusion about what they want moving forward. And it may appear that they are very indecisive, very detached, perhaps somewhat cold, reluctant to meet or interact or engage. You know, this person's definitely been in some kind of hermity phase, very withdrawn, but it's because they're focusing on what's next. When the Five of Pentacles comes up in reverse, this is about rejection and abandonment. And so I do think that this person is very afraid that after waiting so long, you know, for this to happen, that when it actually comes together, perhaps it won't work. You know, as yet it feels untested. And so, you know, there is fear here that perhaps there's not enough balance or harmony to support the successful energy of this connection. I'm hearing they try really hard not to allow themselves to dwell in those anxious and fearful thoughts, but sometimes it does get the better of them. this person has a deep rejection wound, a deep abandonment wound. And this is why they're so triggered by the idea of abandoning the family they have. You know, even though the changes that have transpired in their life have caused them to reconsider what they want and what's right for them. And in their heart, they know that it's, you know, at this stage in their life, it's okay to make decisions that make them happy. That still doesn't negate the consequences and the fallout that that will create for other people. And this weighs so heavily on their mind. It feels like, you know, in order for them to have what they want, the sacrifices means that other people get hurt. And this is where they really, really struggle. You know, this is where they really struggle to actually move this forward. Now, we've got lightning here. Sudden change, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, transformation. We've got wedding rings, union, soul connection, eternal love, wedding, married, everlasting promise. And we've also got the butterfly, relationship evolving to the next phase, healing the inner child, and growth. So again, such tremendously positive energies coming forward for you here. You know, I feel very confident saying that this connection is going to move forward in a profoundly committed way. You know, you've waited a long time, they've waited a long time, and it may have seemed in recent times that, you know, they weren't motivated to come towards you, that they've given up, you know, that all of your dreams were shattered. But actually something has changed, something big has happened. There's been some, you know, major event. We've got this sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany. And they've had this epiphany. They've had this light bulb moment. Life is too short. I need to do what makes me happy. Now, when Lilith comes up, and as I said, she's come up in all piles today, although I think for pile 2, she was in the extended. Lilith, the goddess of power. This is a very powerful divine feminine energy, and what this communicates to me is that the reason this has been able to come to fruition is because you've stepped into your power and created the space that you needed to create for yourself and for this connection, and it's given this person a lot of time to think about it. You claimed your independence with this cat spirit, you know, like the stag spirit as well. You took the lead, you took charge of your life, you moved on, you moved forward without them. And you know, your attitude was, I am not going to stay here and be the victim of your indecision. I'm going to move forward with my life. They admire this about you so much. You know, Lilith was the first woman. She was actually before Eve. It was Adam and Lilith. But Lilith, she wasn't happy or comfortable with the arrangement that God set out. You know, when he said, you know, as a woman, you've got to obey Adam and this, that, and the other, she was thoroughly pissed off with that. And she was like, I don't think so, friend. That's not for me. I want to be Adam's equal. And when God made it clear that wasn't possible and that she needed to be subservient and step into her role as a submissive female, Lilith stuck the middle finger up and said, I don't think so, I'm out of here. Now, at that point in time, she probably didn't stick her middle finger up if we're real, but at that point in time, no one had ever left the Garden of Eden. So no one knew what was out there, and it was an incredibly brave and rebellious thing to do. And this is why Lilith is associated with power and independence and rebellion. And we see again this cat spirit, that claiming of the independence and taking the lead. You know, you had your own awakening. You know, you knew what was right for you, and you trusted and had faith in the longevity of this connection and its potential to come to fruition when you carried on satisfying yourself. So I want to take my hat off to you, because, you know, you've been very diligent in moving this connection forward in a very profound and powerful way by stepping into your own power and making, you know, your own life your priority and focus. You know, not only have you communicated to this person that, you know, you are whole without them, but you've also willingly and lovingly given them the space to figure things out for themselves rather than putting that pressure on them. And, you know, what's happened is they've responded to that. The universe has given them a nudge, and everything now seems to be moving forward. Now, I want to get some messages from your person's higher self as well to see what they want you to know about this situation. Let me get some more tarot cards first. We've got the 5 of Wands, the 4 of Wands in reverse, the 10 of Wands in reverse, Lovers in reverse, the Seven of Cups in reverse. And let's get the oracle cards to go with this. These are message cards that I have written on myself. So the messages from your person's higher self. I don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. I need more time to learn. I'm under no obligation to make sense to you. I want change, but I don't know how. Love generates love. I wish you could understand how difficult my life is right now. I feel guided to get one more. I am so angry with you. Okay, we need a tarot for that. Let me just get a tarot card for that one. Why are they angry? What are they angry about? High Priestess in reverse and the Seven of Swords. Oh, okay. So it feels like, you know, you've disconnected from this person in a way that has, I think, very much triggered the trust they had in your devotion. We've got the Seven of Swords here, which is often the energy of betrayal and deceit. What's the deceit connected to? Transformation and the Fool. So deep down, they harbour a lot of frustrating, resentful feelings about the fact that you moved on without them. You know, that you got tired of waiting and you moved on without them. And this triggered that rejection wound. It caused them to question how sincere you were in your love and devotion. And they're still kind of, you know, in two minds about where they really stand with you. And this is what's kind of triggered them and made them quite frustrated. I do think as well that it made them doubt the depth of the spiritual connection. It's only because even in your absence, they felt the presence of that they still kind of have an iota of faith in its existence. But they are definitely uncertain of what you want now and whether or not there's still space for them. You went ahead and transformed and you grew and you learned and you moved on and you had that new beginning without them. Now, they're also very scared about jumping straight into another relationship. You know, the Five of Wands is all about competition and games. And it does say here, I don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. And we can see from that karmic situation that there was an empath narcissist paradigm there. So, you know, they're very used to a lot of toxicity, a lot of coercive and manipulative behavior. And even though they think they know you really well and they recognize you're not like that, deep down there's a niggling fear that they might, you know, be coming out the frying pan into the fire. They know that that's a very limiting belief, and they know that there's no substance or historical evidence that it's true. But this is something that niggles strongly at them. And I do think that, you know, again, all that time that you were putting pressure on them to actually come together and expressing your frustration, your impatience, you know, your lack of understanding, you know, this triggered them very hard. It made them more stubborn and even more deliberately obtuse in terms of what they chose to communicate to you. And, you know, they're saying here, I'm under no obligation to make sense to you. You knew when you met me that I was in a relationship and had a family. And, you know, they have held on to a lot of bitterness for the way that you kind of later down the line applied a lot of pressure and became frustrated with them. But just to make that okay for you, I do think that they set your expectations and then pulled the rug from under your feet. So in real terms, it's understandable. Just because they think this doesn't mean it's true or right. With the Ten of Wands in reverse, it says, I want change, but I don't know how. And of course, we've got this sudden change here, but we've also got the Ten of Wands in reverse. And this is someone that feels very burdened by the very idea of change and doesn't want to be accountable for the consequences as we described earlier. When the Lovers comes up in reverse here, you know, this demonstrates their fear that you know, that maybe there's not enough love in this connection to sustain it. They're still wondering if you're really invested in this connection. They're wondering, you know, how much you still want to be with them. But they are trying to sit in this energy of positivity, which suggests love generates love. You know, your person is very empathic. You know, they've been with a narcissist. They know how to give. They know how to be affectionate and warm. And so they've taken the decision that they're just going to come forward in a loving manner and hope that, you know, nurtures the loving energy that already existed between you. but they are so reluctant to actually take those steps and make a choice. There are so many which ways that they could go about this, and they get very confused about what is the right course of action to take. It says here, I wish you could understand how difficult my life is right now. And, you know, I feel like you take for granted how difficult it is to leave. You know, we've all been through messy relationship breakups to a degree. Some are harder than others, but certainly, as I said, when there's been a very long, mature relationship or there's kids involved, it can get really messy and really ugly very quickly. And they just, you know, they're really struggling with all of this right now. You know, they're trying to trust in the magic just as you did, but I feel like the anxiety and the fear in this situation quite often really overwhelms them, and they just don't know how to maneuver around that or what to do with it. So I'm going to get some guidance cards for you as well, and some charms too. Let's start with some more tarot cards actually. What's the guidance for pile 3, please? What do they need to know about this connection to help it move forward for the highest good of both of you? We've got the Queen of Wands, the Knight of Swords in reverse, the Five of Cups in reverse, the Ten of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, powerful. And from the Divine Energy Oracle, choose friends wisely, refine your attention, tune out distractions, bust out of your cocoon, and let go and enjoy. From the Flower of Life deck, which I received from a lovely viewer, I don't know which one because there was no message. Thank you so much if you sent me this. You guys are such sweet treats. If you would like to donate a deck, you can find my Amazon wish list down below. I always appreciate it so much. From this deck, we've got Love and Fear, and I will read that at the end for you because it's quite a long one. Let's get some more animals. We've got the butterfly come through for you there, the same as it was here. The elephant and the spider. And I want to get some more of these cards. We've got Achilles, god of vulnerability, Osiris, god of transformation, Anubis, god of protection, codependency, and joy. Let's get the charms. Oh, okay, let me get some more. Okay, so we've got the blank piece of paper, the Instagram camera. Oh, hello, I'm a bad idea. The asthma pump, the twin quartz, love hurts, the crucifix, the spider web, the white rabbit, no idea, this tiny little crystal heart that's got a hole in it, and finally the crescent moon. So guidance for you, pile 3. Queen of Wands is the Queen of Fire. She is the Queen of Spirit. You are guided to remember that when you are in your power, you bring so much harmony, balance, passion, creativity, and sexual charge to this connection. This is interesting advice here. Learn from the past and choose friends wisely. And this is clarified by Achilles, god of vulnerability. Now, what I'm hearing here is that you've got to be careful who you discuss this situation with. You know, some people may not agree. You know, they might call you a husband snatcher or a wife snatcher, or, you know, be really frustrated with the situation you're in because it doesn't align with their beliefs or values. So for sure, you're being asked to recognize that right now you are vulnerable to the ill-dignified judgments and behaviours of others. So a word of caution there for you. And we've got that hello, I'm a bad idea. It's connected to this Instagram. I feel like this is someone maybe you've not spoken to for a while. Maybe they've not expressed their opinions about this connection to you truthfully before. There's something coming forward there to do with that, a friend that's going to disagree and may have the capacity to kind of stir up some trouble in this situation, because we've got that girl with the snake energy there as well. So please be cautious and private when it comes to discussing, you know, this relationship with others. Now, we've also got the Knight of Swords in reverse here. And it says, refine your attention. And we've got Osiris, the god of transformation. This is a number 3. There's a dove featured here for those of you that are looking for signs. And Achilles has a mask as well, a broken mask. God of protection, Anubis has got jackals. So just helping you out if you've asked for signs here. But when this Knight of Swords comes up in reverse, this is reminding you not to step back into chasing energy. You know, not to take any firm action to try and make this happen. Not even to reach out and communicate and to try and get the lowdown. You know, you're guided to refine your attention and to continue to focus on your own divine feminine power and transformation. Remember, again, this is a number 3. That's Empress energy, divine feminine energy. You know, don't allow yourself to run away with the excitement of this coming to fruition. You know, this is a time to refine your focus and really step into your power. There is some unresolved grief here that you have not yet acknowledged. And I feel that you have a tendency, I'm hearing you drink a lot of wine. You like to numb the pain and drown out some of your sorrows. This came through in one of the other piles, I can't remember which, but it was more of an addiction in that situation. And I don't believe it is in yours. I just think you drink a little bit more than you should, rather than having a real dependency. But this is certainly clouding your judgment, and it's also an avoidance of self. When you drink, you're really turning away from all the uncomfortable feelings that you're trying to drown out. There are healthier ways to tune out these distractions without compromising your health, your well-being. And I'm hearing as well, if you're a spiritual practitioner, that, you know, you need to focus on protection and, you know, tapping into your intuition, which is something you can't do when you're numbed by wine. The 10 of Pentacles, you know, this is beautiful. This is, again, this union energy. And look, we see here that this cat, I want to show you this card, is developing these roots, you know, grounding that union energy. You know, bust out of your cocoon. Again, we have butterfly spirit here, indicating the beautiful transformation that is occurring in this connection, but it's reminding you of how tied your person is to that old relationship and how they're still struggling with the, you know, that bond and the codependency that exists there. Once this connection transforms, it will shift quickly, and you need to be ready to move with it. We see here that there's 3 cats moving uphill, very different to how we normally see the 8 of Wands in a traditional deck. And, you know, again, 3 being the number of the Divine Empress. The 8 of Wands actually symbolizes fast forward movement, incoming changes, incoming messages and communication. But we see here that there's an ascension of the divine feminine as a result of this, and that you can just let go and enjoy. And we have joy here as well. There's the Eiffel Tower there in Paris, indicated perhaps you two have planned a trip together, something like that. But, you know, this is guiding you that you can trust what's happening here. You know, when you bust out of your cocoon and they bust out of their cocoon and let this go, everything's going to change. It's already happening, you know, but this person has got anxiety about this. You know, the twin quartz always shows up, I think, as a beautiful symbol to remember the divine nature of this connection. And again, you know, recognizing how hurt, you know, people involved in this are going to be. You know, it's definitely leaving a hole in someone's heart. That's what I'm seeing with this little tiny heart charm. And also the crucifix, a representation of Christ consciousness. You know, you're being asked not to judge. I know that you probably hate this person's partner, but you're being asked to step into compassion and an understanding that, you know, just because they've got toxic habits doesn't make them a bad person. You know, they're human like the rest of us. You know, try not to judge them and try not to get involved in you know, the conversation when your person is discussing them in an ill-dignified way. You've got spider energy and the spider web, and it says make your dreams real. And for me, the spider is a symbol of industriousness, and the spider very powerfully and very independently creates its web. And, you know, for me, this is, again, you know, continue to refine your focus and focus on your own growth. When you're focused on your own dream, you're not getting too sucked in to the expectation of them coming forward. And that means that, you know, the desperation or the impatience won't creep back in. You need to be focused on you. You know, don't get into this white rabbit energy. Remember, he's late. I'm late. You know, I'm late. I've got to go. And he's missing out on where he's meant to be because he's so triggered by this idea that he has to be somewhere else. And so, you know, this is a powerful message here alongside this elephant, which is number 25, reduces to 7, the number of divinity. Learn from the past. You know, this is asking you to recognize that when you've been in this energy in the past of, you know, applying pressure, becoming frustrated and impatient, your person usually pulls back. And, you know, you don't want to apply any more pressure or unnecessary strain on this situation because your person's already finding it difficult. And at the moment, they still have no idea what to do or how to resolve that. And that's okay. You know, it will be all right. You just need to be patient. Again, focus on yourself. Put the wine away. You know, get yourself grounded and protected. Really focus on keeping your energy clear, strong, and stable. Love and fear. Let's read this card for you. These are so beautiful. Thank you to whoever sent me these. So just take a deep breath and close your eyes as you listen to this. Love and fear cannot exist in the same space or at the same time, as they are very different vibrations. If you are feeling fear, imagine now breathing in green or pink light and feel any fear or lower energies transforming into love. Now you are powerfully present in a vibration of love. You feel safe, knowing exactly what to do in any circumstance or situation. This is now your reality. Say to yourself, I trust I am a channel of love and wisdom. My higher self will guide me at all times and in all situations. Now that I know this, I can relax, have fun, and live my life present in each moment. I really feel, pile 3, that you are a very evolved divine feminine. You know this, and so this is just a really potent reminder that you mustn't allow that knowing and that state of being to wobble out of balance. You've worked so hard to get there, and the idea that this is all now coming to fruition could very easily propel you back into that fearful state, that grasping state. You know, you need to stay still and centered. But I'm going to take this over to the extended now. We're going to go deeper with the energies we've already looked at. We're going to ask more questions about thoughts and feelings. I want to get some clarifiers as well in terms of, you know, how they're, what, you know, we had that 7 of Cups. They had a variety of choices of how they were intending to move this forward, and get some more guidance for you as well. Maybe some message cards from their higher self as well. So if this resonated, you can find the link for the extended in the description box below. But thank you so much for joining me here. Thank you for your likes, for your beautiful comments and feedback. Thank you for subscribing. That means I'll see you next time, which makes me really happy. And I appreciate your presence here so much. Thank you to the very generous souls that watch my commercials. That's such a beautiful energy exchange, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you to those of you that send me decks or send donations via PayPal. If you do send me a PayPal donation, first of all, thank you, you're an angel, but please include your postal address so I can send you a handwritten note, because that's my favourite thing to do at the moment. I'm loving the snail mail thing. So I would love to send you a little something to thank me properly. Please be sure to include your address. Thank you so much for joining me here, and I will see you next time. Lots of love. Bye.